empty bottle in the garbage.
Don't you know plastics go in the blue container?
Mayor Frank Jackson and the City of Cleveland are committed to keeping your neighborhood clean and green through the use of the city-issued trash and recycling carts. It's safe, convenient, and mandatory. For more information, contact the Cleveland Division of Waste Collection at 216-664-3717.
How did you get to be so smart?
I had a good teacher.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the 176th running of the Cleveland St. Patrick's Day Parade. I'm Tommy Malloy.
And John Myers to bring you all the fun and festivities of Cleveland's celebration of the Feast of St. Patrick.
We've got a big parade here today. A little cooler temperatures, but not too bad. We got some sunshine. It's actually pretty nice out here, and not too bad. And we're going to go down now for the start of the parade at East 18th and Superior, where they have all the dignitaries, the national anthems, all that kind of thing. We're going to get started. Going to have a great day here, John, don't you think?
We'll be enjoying it all, and
We
with
will.
your company. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm Bob O'Seville with TV20 here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in downtown Cleveland. We're at the beginning of the parade route at 18th and Superior. We're going to interview all the Irish dignitaries, and you're going to enjoy a great parade today. We're going to see the parade in its entirety. We're very privileged to be joined on St. Patrick's Day with the Executive Director for the St. Patrick's Day Parade, Shannon Corcoran. Shannon, tell us about what this day means and what's in store for everybody.
Well, St. Patrick's Day here in Cleveland, it's a celebration, I think, of not only our Irish community, but Cleveland as a whole. We have, not just the Irish organizations, but we have other ethnic groups that participate. We have our sports teams. And it almost seems like it's a rite of passage for spring. This is the day that all of Cleveland can come out and celebrate. And luckily, we have good weather today.
You have the luck of the Irish on your side. I think Cleveland St. Patrick's Day Parade is probably one of the best inclusion of everybody in Cleveland. Give us an idea what kind of goes into the planning of a parade like this.
A lot. We'll start in May, planning for next year. So it is almost a year-long process to get the parade on the avenue. It's a lot of coordination, a lot of planning to get the units in, figure out what order they're going to be in, choosing our honorees, choosing the theme for the parade. So it really is a whole massive coordination. And then, of course, today, hundreds of people come out in order to help put the parade on the avenue. We have judges, so this is a judged parade, so then we'll be figuring out who is the top, first, second, and third in 8 different categories, and then we finish up with a banquet in April where we award all of the trophies.
I've been to that before. It's fabulous. You and your team, for lack of a better way to say it, I know you'll work in conjunction. You do a great job, and thank you very much for all you do for the city of Cleveland. And happy St. Patrick's Day, Shannon.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
My name is Joan Hartnett Reale. Hartnett being my maiden name, where I come from in Ireland. So Reale is my husband's family name.
And what does it mean to you to celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
Oh, it's a wonderful tradition. I march every year for different organizations. I'm a delegate to the United Irish Society, so it's part of our Irish culture, tradition.
Well, thanks for visiting with us. I know that a lot of people are waiting to talk to you, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's so wonderful. Thank you.
Well, it's a beautiful day for St. Patrick's Day. We're here again with Mayor Frank Jackson on a great St. Patrick's Day. Sir, how are you feeling? What are your thoughts about today?
Well, I feel good. I went to the gym this morning, and it's a nice day. It's a nice, brisk day, not too cold, not too warm, and the people always enjoy St. Patrick's Day. It's a good event.
I agree. It seems like safety is more of a factor every year. I see you got all your city services here, making sure people are safe and secure. What are your thoughts about that, protecting the citizens?
Well, we live in a world where you have to prepare for safety, and so we do that. We don't want any incident to happen here that would ruin the parade or to cause people harm in any way.
Well, you've done a lot to make this a great tradition, not for all 176 years, but for many years of your terms. Congratulations. Thank you again for your gracious time.
Thank you.
We're now joined by former mayor of the city of Cleveland, Dennis Kucinich. Dennis, what are your memories of St. Patrick's Day?
Marching in these parades for years and years. Growing up in Cleveland with an Irish mother, St. Patrick's Day was second only to Christmas, and sometimes was just as important. I remember Holy Name and singing all the Irish songs in the school with all the children, and being here at today's parade, 2018. It's a continuation of this great tradition in Cleveland.
Tradition is a big part of Cleveland, and especially St. Patrick's Day parade. By the way, I went to Holy Name grade school. But what are your family traditions for food?
Well, you know, I'm a vegan, so it's changed over the years, but the family pretty much did bangers and mash and, you know, and lots of beer.
Absolutely. Very blessed to be joined by a very green-clad Sheila Murphy Crawford. You are the actual Grand Marshal of the 2018 St. Patrick's Day Parade, is that right?
I am, yes. Okay. And I am the third woman in the history of the parade to have that honor.
How do you get that honor, ma'am?
Well, it's voted on by all the Irish organizations in Cleveland, and I won the election, and it was just fabulous.
And I understand you're one of the three women to hold that title, is that right?
Yes, I am,
okay.
Yes.
You're very proud of that.
Oh, I am, because my father was Grand Marshal, my mother was Irish Mother of the Year, and my sister, and this is just wonderful for my family.
Well, I think you're very deserving. Have a great day, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
I will, and happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Bob, very much. Bob was just down there all the way where the parade was starting, and now it's coming our way, folks. That means it's coming your way, too.
We're down here at Public Square towards the end of the parade, welcoming the beginning, led by our Cleveland's finest, the Cleveland Police Department.
You can hear those motorcycles. I tell you, those motorcycles are really impressive close up.
They are. They add a great sense of pageantry to the parade. And right behind them is our traditional lead of the United Irish Societies, for the United Irish Societies, the Irish Civic Association.
Oh, very good. Excellent there.
They lead with the color guard. It's made up of members of the bench and bar and have been the leaders of the parade since the 1920s.
Now, the parade is sponsored by the United Irish Societies of Greater Cleveland. I think there's about 30 organizations there with delegates and several deputy directors who handle a lot of the details. This is an enormous project to put on. This goes on throughout the year. They'll be having their first meeting for next year, probably, I'd say, in the next couple of weeks. So this is a huge undertaking, really big thing, and it's a really big day for all of us here in Cleveland, I think.
The Irish Civic Association's claim to fame is that they're the only ones that get to march in front of the horses.
Oh, that's very good. Yes, yes. When I was in the fife and drum with the West Side Irish Club, we were behind the horses quite often when I was a young child, and we got yelled at if we had to step around, do a little gypsy doodle there. You know what I'm saying?
Be sharp on your toes here.
Oh, boy.
Here comes our honorees for the 176th Cleveland Irish Celebration of St. Patrick, led by our Grand Marshal,
Sheila Murphy Crawford. She's the third woman to receive the honor in the history of the parade. She founded the Murphy Irish Arts Center, some 40 years ago, I think, and she's also served the Irish community in a whole bunch of other different ways. She teaches, she performs traditional Irish dance. Her students, they've won some world competitions, not just as individuals, but as a whole group. And she also serves as the director of the Irish Cultural Garden. She's been doing that for 20, 25 years, I think?
For over 40, actually, and her mom before that, I believe. And all of you should make an effort to get down there in Martin Luther King Boulevard in Rockefeller Park.
Yeah.
Bob is going to check in with us with the audience.
Bob Seville.
Okay, we're here with some St. Patrick's Day youngsters. Are you guys having fun? Yeah! Tell me your names real quick.
Madison. Adam. Cameron. Kylie. Kelly. Jocelyn. Madison.
All right, we all say Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day!
There's some cute kids there, Bob. Thank you so much.
Doesn't get any better than that. That's what this is all about. It's a family day. It's a coming together. It's a celebration of
Words
the
out of my
community.
mouth. It really is a family thing. I mean, I grew up marching in we're practicing. My father was involved with the parade committee. Our whole family was involved. We all came down to the parade. If we weren't marching, we were with my mom and my aunts and uncles and stuff like that. And it's just a big day. And most of the Irish in this town start the day in church, believe it or not. A lot of folks don't know that. But I was at St. Coleman this morning over on the west side. The East Side Irish Club, they start over at St. Robert and William, I think it is. And there's all sorts of other churches that have mass this morning as well.
The patron saint, or mother church of the Cleveland Irish community, St. Pat's on Bridge Avenue in Ohio City.
And that's a nice transition to the Irish Mother of the Year.
Very good.
Who just went by there. Joan Reale.
Joan is very active, belongs to almost every club. I couldn't list them all.
There she is.
But
She's walking too.
Extremely, extremely active, and we're thankful for all the energy she puts in with Father Jim O'Donnell's Little Brothers and Sisters of the Eucharist, with the Gaelic League, with the West Side IA, on down the road.
Now, my aunt had a phrase for anyone who was always busy doing something and involved in something. She said, that one's at every dog fight. And Joan certainly is, I'll tell you. Next, we've got the coordinators, this year's co-chairs. You've got Noreen Campbell-Haley. She was right there with her husband as she passed by.
And Linda Burke.
Linda Burke as well.
Also from the East Side Club.
These ladies put a lot of time in, working, helping others out, volunteering. It's just a really cool thing to be a part of and to watch and to see, and something to be proud of as well.
The guarantors are bringing up the next group. These are folks who help sponsor the parade and march as a unit together, celebrating their support and involvement with United Irish Societies in the parade.
And I believe there are 300 plus guarantors. They pay a small fee, very nominal fee, to walk in the parade, to wear the sash. And many of them who don't walk, they do it just to support the parade. Right. It's a really cool thing, and it helps put the whole thing on.
Blessings of the day.
They also take donations, a $10 donation for a Shamrock pin every year. It has the year on the pin, and that also helps fund the parade. This stuff, I mean, it's all done just as a thing people donate out of the goodness of their heart. And that's how they put the parade on. It's not any big money thing or foundations or any of that stuff. It's just simple grassroots people raising the money the old-fashioned way. Here, look, it's an army of
they have fun.
I'll tell you.
They have fun marching too. These are folks who prefer to march and keep warm that way and celebrate that way rather than standing in the cold watching. They're a good group, and we appreciate the United Irish Society appreciates their support.
Boy, they are a large group, aren't they?
They are, and they've haven't learned to turn the corner.
No,
just
they
yet.
haven't. I believe they're going to camp out here.
Behind them is
our public officials, I think, are coming up. Is Mayor Jackson here today?
Yep, there's Mayor Jackson
There he is.
and County Executive Armin Budish, both of them leading the elected officials who are participating and celebrating with the Irish community today,
there's the mayor,
whether
there's Mr.
Irish or
Budish.
not. County Prosecutor, Mr. O'Malley.
There's Marty Sweeney, I think, was in there.
Yep. Councilman Casey, Councilman Braccantelli.
And I believe Bob, are you with the chief of police?
Councilman Blaine Griffin.
I hope on business, our business, not his.
Okay, we're here with Cleveland Police Chief Calvin Williams. Sir, tell me about what it takes to put on St. Patrick's, especially from a safety standpoint.
From a safety standpoint, it's a lot of partnerships, state, federal, and local levels, a lot of hard work by the members of the Cleveland Division of Police, and a lot of cooperation from the friends, the family, all the people out here today.
We appreciate all your efforts and have a great St. Patrick's Day, and let you join the rest of your team.
All right, thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks, Chief. We couldn't do this parade without the support of Cleveland's finest.
That's right.
Under the Chief's leadership, we're most thankful to have their support. They were preceded by the Police Honor Guard and the Cleveland Police Pipes and Drums.
Yes, they were. But I tell you, those guys look terrific. And I think, what do we have now? The mounted unit is coming up here. Oh, there they are.
Always a presence here at the parade, not only marching, but in providing safety for all of us here to enjoy in peace and comfort.
Now, weren't there some budget difficulties a couple of years ago, and they nearly disbanded them permanently, and luckily we got them back. Yeah.
And Councilman Dolan, I think, was instrumental at the time in helping put together a foundation to raise money that would help perpetuate their presence here in Cleveland for quite some time.
And they certainly serve a purpose. It's not just for show or for exhibition.
They have great
purposes.
visibility
They do.
when they're in the crowd. They're great for crowd control and direction. So they serve multiple functions as well as something to be proud of. Not every city has its mounted unit.
And I believe now, are we looking at the
Police Emerald Civic Society?
That's right. Okay.
Has been Greater Cleveland's Gaelic American Law Enforcement Association since 1997. It was formed to promote fraternity and brotherhood in law enforcement of Irish descent.
And there's the ATF going by.
Also more people keeping us safe and sound.
That's a big job as well. The retired Irish police, I believe, are, is that them coming up?
Yep,
Yes, the RIPS, they call them, retired or retirable Irish police from 24 local police departments. They've all with an Irish heritage. I'm sure that you can slip in there if you don't have an Irish heritage, but they're led by President Edward Sullivan and their Man of the Year, Daniel Bambrick.
And they wear their traditional and well-known green blazers and gold hats. They look sharp walking down the avenue.
Nice guys, I'll tell you. Now, is that the president gets to ride in the car there? That must be nice.
It gets a little warmth there. It's always
nice. Is that the
nice.
Man of the Year there? There he is, Mr. Bambrick.
Continuing our law enforcement, which the Irish have a proud and long tradition of being members of, and in that role of public service, we bring up the FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 25.
And their honor guard there.
And their honor guard, soon to be followed by our Cuyahoga County.
The Sheriff's Department is here. Here we go. Their honor guard is leading the way.
Our Cuyahoga County Sheriff, Clifford Pinkney, is the head of the Sheriff's Department.
And here's the Elyria Police Department Color Guard, followed by the Cleveland Clinic Police Department Honor Guard. There we are.
The sun is coming out.
But not on us. A little chilly here, just a tad. Not too bad, though. And Bob Seville, I hope the sun's shining on you. Who do you got for us?
Okay, we're here at some more rowdies from Cleveland St. Patrick's Day 2018. What's your name and where you from?
Lexus, I'm from West Virginia. Tatiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
We normally don't talk to Steeler fans, you guys know that, but we made an exception.
I'm Brooke and I'm from Cleveland.
Okay.
Julie from Cleveland.
Okay. What's been your favorite part so far?
Definitely the bagpipes.
All right. So far, so good, right?
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
Come on, you guys. 1, 2, 3. Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Nice, Bob. Very good. He always finds some interesting people. He always finds some fun people. Good stuff.
It's a good crowd, and every background of life comes to celebrate this this holiday and this feast day where truly everyone is Irish.
Yes, absolutely. I think we just had the Cleveland Metro Parks Rangers Honor Guard.
Yes.
And is this the Navy Honor Guard? We also had the Cleveland Grays. There's the Navy Honor Guard going by there, and this is the Coast Guard. That's not an honor guard, folks. That's one of their vessels.
And we were just on it seeing the Coast Guard. Reminds me of the U.S. Navy. A native of County Mayo, Patrick Gallagher, who received the Distinguished U.S. Navy Cross, died in Vietnam in 1967. An immigrant, an Irish immigrant in the U.S. Navy, U.S. Marine Corps, who died. They've just decided to name a naval destroyer after Patrick Gallagher. So it's a great honor for a native of County Mayo and an Irish American that we all remember today in all the service, not only in law enforcement, but in our military and fire departments and service areas as well.
Now, John, I was surprised several years ago at how many men who were my father's contemporaries I discovered had joined the Army or the Navy when they first got here as young men after emigrating, and to them was a path to citizenship, and they felt a sort of obligation to the United States for making them a new home. And I thought that was a really cool thing when I heard that.
It
Fellows
is.
I never even knew.
Unfortunately, this Patrick Gallagher didn't get a time to enjoy his citizenship too long, but he did come to our country freely and willingly and enriched our country through his service.
Well, very good for him, I'll tell you. Guys like that protect our freedom every day. And I believe the USO, that's them going by on their trailer. For over 76 years, the USO of Northern Ohio has been a leading organization to serve the men and women in the U.S. military, how appropriate, and their families throughout their time in uniform. Bob Seville, do you have somebody for us? Let's see.
All right, who wants to be on TV, you kids? All right, excuse me. All right. All right, guys, we're back here on the parade route in the sun this time. Guys, give me your first name and where you're from.
I'm Michaela. I'm from Elyria.
I'm Mia, and I'm from America.
Okay, quickly, guys.
I'm Molly, and I'm from Olmsted Falls.
I'm Sophia, and I'm from Ohio.
I'm DJ and I'm from North Olmsted.
10 seconds, real
I'm
quick.
Megan and I'm from Olmsted Falls.
Okay, she's not sure. Thank you, guys. Back to you guys. Thank you.
I'm with the one who doesn't know, but today we do know. We're here in Cleveland, the heart of it all. One of the largest St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the United States of America, and the world, frankly. And we're honored to do it up and do it large.
Now, is this the Firefighters Shamrock Club? No, Western Reserve Fire Museum?
Yes, located just across from Progressive Field there at Carnegie and Ontario is the Western Reserve Fire Museum. It's worth checking out. Once again, another area of public service that the Irish have been proud to serve and have had a distinguished time serving on behalf of the safety of our community.
Well, for a lot of folks, they were jobs they didn't want, so the Irish filled them because they were looking to get ahead and to feed their kids. Now we have the Firefighters Memorial Pipes and Drums coming along. Their 26th season. Oh boy, take a listen to that. Very loud. Nice stuff, too.
It's sounding good.
And their mission is to honor our fallen. And here comes the local 93. Shamrock Club.
Representing the Cleveland firefighters well.
Led by Lieutenant Martin McGinty and Lieutenant Dean Murad.
They're a big group. They march proudly together. They're a family of themselves.
And they're with firefighters Shamrock Club President Thomas McGinty, Local 93 President Tim Corcoran, and Cleveland Division of Fire Chief Angelo Kilvillo.
It's a great tradition that the Irish continue to this day to have a strong presence and dedication to.
I'll tell you, they look pretty good when they're in their dress blues here.
Yes.
That's a big group too.
They just keep coming.
Yeah, they do.
When you see them all together, I can't but help to think of our over several hundred firefighters that died in 9/11. The bravery, the dedication. Today we're having fun and celebrating, but we recall these folks have to go running into a burning building every day.
It is serious business, folks. And there we go. There's a Cleveland Fire Assistant Chief vehicle.
And their sirens work.
Oh, here we go. Listen to this one. Oh, boy.
Ladder 36.
They love to play with the horns on these vehicles, don't they?
Well, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
It turns you into a kid. Here's the Fire Museum now. Just going by there.
They have their vehicle. Amongst many vehicles, it's fun to see the equipment that's in the museum.
Oh, those old historical vehicles are terrific. I think now, is this Lakewood coming our way?
Should be next.
Or is this the color guard? So Lakewood Firefighters Color Guard and their department. Their 7th appearance in the parade.
Chief Scott Gilson and Fire Marshal Tim Dunphy.
All right, we got some folks supporting who?
The Northern Ireland Football Association.
Tell us a little bit about it.
We just have family over there from Belfast area, so yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful day. You guys are beautiful. It's a great looking flag. Look at that, guys. All right, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
There, a lot of noise coming our way, folks. Oh boy, I don't know if you can hear that.
They're lucky they're on the sunny side of the street.
And these are the rescue employees. This is the EMS paramedics and their families, coordinated by Desmond Anderson. CARE Local 1975. And boy, they are laying on that EMS horn. If you don't hear that, get out of their way. There's something wrong with you.
Well, it seems that people still seem to miss it. I see people who seem to be oblivious of the...
Oh, boy. When you're driving faster than the ambulance, you've got a problem. Or you're going to have one anyway.
Yes. Some of their supporters marching with them, family.
It's nice to see.
Of the EMS.
Oh, here we go, John.
They also protect us.
The Company B 8th Ohio Volunteer Infantry, the Hibernian Guard.
They were one of the first units that reacted to President Lincoln's call after Fort Sumter and honoring Cleveland's strong tradition of service to the country.
Let's go to Bob. Bob, who do you have for us?
Okay, we're here with one of the parade participants. Tell me about your uniform and who you're with, sir, briefly.
We represent Company B of the 8th Regiment Ohio Volunteer Infantry from the American Civil War. Prior to the war, Company B from Cuyahoga County was the Hibernian Guard Social Club.
Okay, and what type of things do you do besides the parade?
We do living histories and Civil War battle reenactments, and we also do presentations at schools instructing the kids about the soldiers of the American Civil War.
Well, history is very important. It does repeat itself, and everybody wants to know how long you've been growing your beard.
45 years.
Well done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do.
Great day.
Thank you.
And now, you know, that's going to, we're getting close to the end of the the lead divisions, and Division 1 will be coming up in a little bit. But I'll tell you, that is so important to remember the history. Those guys must know it inside and out. If they're going to be doing reenactments and things like that, it's important to know those things and to remember where we came from. We've always heard that, and that's evidence right there of people who are doing that as a regular thing.
Obviously, that goes back to 1861. The Irish and the Hibernian were present here. But today we celebrate the 176th anniversary of public celebration of St. Patrick in the city of Cleveland, going back to 1842.
And no better transition for the Ancient Order of Hibernian Boland Berry Division now going past. They've been around for a long time. They've also got the Ladies AOH, their group, the Our Lady of the Rosary members. They're led in 2018 St. Patrick's Day Parade by Hibernian of the Year James Kilbane, who's also a former director of the United Irish Societies, as well as he's normally the reviewing stand announcer for the parade, but he took this year off. I think they forced him to, and he's in the parade as the Hibernian of the Year. Kudos to him and congrats too. Great guy.
Corinne Lynch is the president of the Rosary Division, and marching with the ladies and the men's. It's the largest Irish organization in the United States.
There's Jimmy in that vehicle there. Bob, do you have somebody for us? Let's meet somebody new.
Okay, we're here with the Irish American Club of the East Side of Cleveland Division 1. What is your name, and tell me about the organization?
Chris Carroll.
Okay.
And it's the Irish American Club of the East Side.
Okay, what do people need to know about that they don't know?
It's a great club. We have pipe and drum, and we have fife and drum, and we have the pom-pom unit, and we have the drill team.
Okay, great. We're glad you guys are out. Good job.
Thanks.
Well, thank you. Good job. Thank you. Good job.
Thanks, Bob, very much. Good folks over there at the East Side Irish Club, although it's technically the Irish American Club East Side. They're kind of sticklers about that. We just call it the East Side Club, many of us. Good folks. I've never had a bad time over there. They always feel welcome.
It's a great place at about 222nd and Lakeshore in the city of Euclid. Great facility, great coming together place. They have approximately 12 different subunits representing the club, from their float to their honorees for this year, all under the direction of President Kevin McCluskey. Their member of the year is Linnea Meany, who is being honored today by their club and in the parade today.
Here come their pipes and drums, led by Bruce Craig, and I believe Michael Keenan is the drum sergeant.
The Jack Madonna Fife and Drum Corps.
There's Bruce out there.
And leading up to their float, Tommy, we should remember that the theme of this year's parade is Prominent Irish Pioneers of the 20th Century.
Very good.
You'll understand when their float comes up here, which is a tribute to the Beatles.
It's nice to see how people, how different clubs and organizations take that parameter, that theme, and they find a way to represent it, and they're all different, and it's really, really cool because it's things we don't normally know. Here's the East Side Club's, I believe it's their officers, their executive board. President Kevin McCluskey, Mary Alice Curran is the vice president, Sarah O'Brien Dirk, secretary.
The theme of their float is the four lads from Liverpool, the four Irish lads from Liverpool. What a lot of people don't know is that 3 out of 4 of the Beatles were all of Irish descent. Ringo, I think, was the only one who wasn't. And part of that is the history of storytelling and music that has been passed down through the generations that influenced and helped lay a foundation, we'll claim, anyhow, for one of the best-known musical groups in human history.
It's a great idea. Bob Seville.
Okay, guys, we found yet 2 more very colorful participants. Young man, what's your name and where are you from?
I'm Justin. I'm from Cleveland.
Tell me about your getup.
I got it from Five Below. You know.
Spin around. Give us a spin around. All right. How about that, guys? And your name and where you're from?
I'm Johnson, Twinsburg, Ohio.
Is that real? How long did it take you to grow it?
Long enough.
Give us a spin around. Looks good. Looks good, guys. All right, back to you guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
And now I think we've got the Jack McDonough Fife and Drum unit coming up the avenue here from the Irish American Club East Side. There they are.
As I said, they got 12 units, so I was getting ahead of ourselves.
Maybe, I think so.
Just the East Side Club has 12 groups.
Tom Davis is the leader. He's also the grandson of the late Jack McDonough. Jack McDonough was a man, he led the fife and drum on the west side of Cleveland, and then when the east side formed, he led that one too. Put it together, trained those kids. Really great legacy, that guy. We're very proud to have known Jack McDonough many moons ago.
I like their sweaters, the Irish Aaron sweaters.
And here's the Irish American Club Jewel team.
They have great outfits, uniforms as well. The green kilts, the black berets.
And now the Golden Shamrocks aboard Lolly the Trolley.
They've earned a ride in the parade.
It was sold out too, I was told. There were no more slots left.
It looks completely full. It's a fun way to do the parade.
And here's the float now, I believe.
Yes.
There they are.
Of course, in addition to the 4 Irish lads from Liverpool, Ed Sullivan was the one that introduced the Beatles to America, one of Irish America's own, and one of the larger TV shows, pioneering TV show.
Now, also on the float is Mary Lady Heath. She was a notable aviatrix, and she was also an Olympian. First pilot to fly the length of Africa to England. Or first, I think it says first pilot, not first female. So she is recorded here in history for having crashed her plane at the Cleveland Air Races. Well, I don't know if we should mention that. I mean,
well, it's all part of flying. You got to land too, sometimes a little rougher than others.
I was going to say we're trying to lift them up, but if you're an aviatrix, you don't need that.
Cleveland has a great history with the air races back
Absolutely.
in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. We were the centerpiece of American aviation.
Here's the Diocesan Union of Holy Name Societies just past us.
Coordinated by Robert Fitzgerald and their spiritual director, Father Thomas Heron.
Here they are again. And following them, the St. Mary's Seminary, the Diocese of Cleveland, and Borromeo Seminary of the Diocese of Cleveland.
I have to give a special shout out to Father Brian Stacy, who's marching today. Today is actually his birthday. Born on St. Patrick's Day, and is the head of the Capuchin Franciscan group at Borromeo Seminary.
Well, if you're going to do that, I have to throw a birthday shout out to my mother-in-law, Kathy Richter.
Is today her day?
Today is her day.
Very good.
Now, it's still a secret. She thinks this parade is for her, so don't say anything. And here comes the Murphy Irish Arts Center. It's their 40th anniversary. This is the organization started by today's Grand Marshal. And Bob Seville. Who are we going to talk to next, Bob?
Okay, your name and who are you with, ma'am?
I'm Kathy Manning with Murphy Irish Arts Center.
Tell us about it very briefly.
Oh, Sheila Murphy is the Grand Marshal today.
Okay.
She's our leader. 40 years.
Okay.
She's been dancing. So
And where are you located?
Out of Beechwood, Ohio, but we service all greater Ohio.
And for more information?
Call the Murphy Irish Arts Center.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Congratulations.
Bye now.
Happy
Thanks.
St. Patrick's Day.
And their Irish dancers are celebrating their 39th consecutive appearance at the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And they've also got a marching unit as well.
They have world-class championship dancers. They've been recognized for their skills. And even Murphy, such a great unit, they have about 4 separate divisions that Murphy is represented by here today.
There's the children's unit led by Eileen Connell and Corey McNamara. These kids range in experience from beginners to 6 or 7 years old. And previous to them, they were their older dancers, junior and senior dancers. And they also include a drama team who won 3rd place at the World Championships in Dublin, Ireland last year. They're led by Aaron Hogan and Ellen Kurbitz. And here come their alumni.
A strong group.
Parents and alumni are making an appearance in this year's parade. And congrats to the Murphy Irish Arts Center. I'll tell you, they really got their act together.
Sheila said she first took lessons just around the corner here, I think, on West 6th Street, when she was a young girl growing up on the east side, and there weren't that many schools on the east side, and so she fixed that problem. Now has one of many schools, but one of the thriving schools.
Well, I think she paved the way for so many. There's so many schools that are thriving now. Judge Nancy R. McDonald riding in a 1929 Mercedes-Benz convertible.
Judge Nancy McDonald represents the fine tradition of public service in the judiciary and on the bench. She was the first woman elected administrative and presiding judge of the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, and a great public servant.
Now I have to bring up, John, she's here, and is she not grandfathered in? Because there is,
Yes.
You're supposed to march with, or now, all public officials and elected officials march together in one unit. She's grandfathered in, and there's a couple more grandfathered in, I believe,
Yes,
too.
she's been doing it, showing her commitment for a number of years that she was grandfathered in by the United Irish Societies.
And not to be outdone, here come the St. Ed's Trash Talkers. This group has won their category several times. They've also won Best in the Parade, the St. Edward High School Trash Talkers Percussion Unit. Bob Seville, you got somebody from the Trash Talkers?
Okay, somehow we captured one of the Trash Talkers. What's your role? What's your name?
My name's Shane. I'm on the green team, so my job is to decide the crowd while they play.
Okay. And you're St. Ed's, right?
Yes, St.
Okay,
Ed's.
good luck. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you
Thank
too.
you, young man. Good job. Clap those together for us.
Happens to be my alma mater. John, where did you go to high school?
I'm a publican. I went to Rocky River High School.
Oh, excellent. Very good. A publican.
Shane was appropriately on the green team, he said. That's a good team to be on today.
And the Trash Talkers are under the instruction of Mr. Dominic Tancredi. Assistant instructor Mark Whalen leads the green team. Founder and coordinator John Goers. They've really done, they've gotten so popular, they've grown. People start to know who they are. And this year's team consists of 12 gold team members and a healthy squad of 15 green team members. That's pretty cool.
It's good. They add a lot of excitement and energy to the
They
parade,
certainly
and
do, don't they?
wherever they go.
And here comes the Irish Setter Club of Ohio.
Beautiful dogs,
aren't they?
Beautiful
Oh,
animals.
look at that. They really are.
And they're probably all, unlike my dog, well taken care of all the time, but particularly today their coats are washed and well combed. The coats really are just beautiful.
Reminds me of an old line from an old Irish play I did once. The man's looking at the dog and he says, sure, he'd nearly talk to you. Because they're so friendly and just such great companions.
They are at that. They are at that. Number of great Irish breed of dogs from.
Hey, Bob, you going to talk to a dog?
We're going to walk real slow. Okay. All right. Tell me about your beautiful dog, sir.
My dog is named Riley.
Okay.
4-year-old Irish setter. He's
Okay.
a champion.
Okay.
We've had him for 4 years.
Uh-oh. She a Browns fan, too?
I'm a Browns fan.
All right. Take care. Happy
You
St.
work, I am
Patrick's
a
Day.
Browns
There
fan.
you go. There, beautiful dog. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Bob did tell me earlier that some of the parts of this job are rough.
Not too rough, though. He should have talked to the Geneva Area Grape Jamboree that we missed right ahead of them.
Yes, they did.
Celebrating the grape growing traditions of this region in September in downtown Geneva, Ohio.
And if you're wondering who those giant puppets were, they're from Antidote Creativity. And also the Ohio Technical College just went by in their vehicle. We got a bit of a lull here. I believe Cathedral Latin should be coming up. Bob, who do you got for us?
Okay, we're with some more St. Patrick's Day rowdies. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Ariana Torres from Sheffield Lake, Ohio.
Tell me about your beautiful hat.
I don't know. It's just the
one of a
theme
kind.
today.
And how about you?
Angelina Torres from Lorain, Ohio.
Oh, you got even the earmuffs, guys. She's got it together. Back to you guys. Thank you.
Very good. I'll tell you, what a getup. Pretty cool stuff. Here's Cathedral Latin now.
Cathedral Latin has been closed since 1979, but they have one of the most active alumni groups and energetic alumni groups. They even brought St. Patrick with him, as you can see.
I
in the
didn't
front
know
of
he
that.
went there. I wasn't aware
I
of
think
that.
they're claiming him as an alumni.
Oh. Think he was the quarterback of the football team?
Whatever was needed, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. They're coordinated by Adam Peisel.
And of course, Cathedral Latin continues its tradition. The Notre Dame Cathedral Latin out in Geauga County in Chardon, I believe, Chardon, Ohio.
Look, it is Chardon.
Have a great school out there that keeps the tradition alive, along with the Sisters of Notre Dame.
And here comes their school band. They're coordinated by Adam Peisel. I misspoke earlier. And we're going to get ready to see them.
If you know, Cathedral Latin used to be at University Circle. The building's gone now. It's right up where the Cleveland School of the Arts is right now. I believe
You're right.
there.
Boy, they sound terrific, don't they?
A lot of good music.
What is it about marching bands? I don't know. It's just, there's just something really just nice about it. It's just uplifting, and you want to stand up and start doing things.
Well, you're speaking my tunes. As an old marching band alum, it adds a lot of excitement and fun to any setting.
Now, those folks who just went by, that's the International Order of the Blue Gavel. And what they are, those are past Commodores from local yacht clubs and the like. And they get together and try to give back to the community a little bit, stay involved, that kind of thing. And here we go. North Coast All-Stars out of Berea. It's a competitive gym out in Berea. And the girls range from 3 to 18 years old. They do tumbling, dance, stunting, all sorts of stuff. Megan Kuhlenschmidt is the leader. Bob Seville, let's talk to somebody.
Are you guys having fun so far?
Yeah.
Tell me about your crazy glasses.
Well,
They're really cute. How about your brothers? Are those shamrocks? Let's see. We can't even see. Look at these guys. All right, back to the parade. We got these guys coming on by. Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Wave the camera.
Well, those hats are nice and warm,
They
which
look
is a
like
good thing.
Be careful, kids. Bob may try to filch that from you.
Yes, hold on tight.
Now here's the North Coast All-Stars.
We are
Look at
North
that group.
Coast.
That's big. Oh, boy.
A sea of green here. A sea of green and a field of energy.
I hope they all don't start
Holy
tumbling.
Goodness.
They're
brave too.
Watching them do that hurt my back.
Right in public square on this hard concrete underneath them. Oh.
The days when we were limber, John.
I don't remember them.
I don't either.
You'd have to be pretty strong to do that to me.
Uh-oh.
It's a nice feature, Tommy. This is, I think, the second year now that with the redesign of Public Square that the parade has come actually right through Public Square
Which
rather
is
than
nice,
turning
yes.
beforehand. So for your parade arrangements in future years, the parade is cutting right through our new front porch of Cleveland.
And that is where we are located, actually, right here in Public Square. Taking this beautiful day in. It's nice. Look at that sunshine. Terrific. And here's the Wireman Shamrock Club, coordinated by Terry Kelly.
They have some good music playing.
Or is that the North Coast float? I believe it might be. North Coast is surrounding anyway. Here's the Wireman.
Another proud Irish tradition of that you know well in your family and mine of the Cleveland building trades.
Mm-hmm.
The Irish literally have built Cleveland and much of America. And Local 38, Walter O'Malley, the longtime president, now Terry Kelly, who served our community in many, many ways, and as I said, literally built our city.
And is this their queen? Do they have a queen? And now the Knights of St. John Rocco. St. John Rocco Commandery 330 of the Knights of St. John, formed in 1929. They served the Catholic Church in Cleveland by escorting bishops and priests to confirmations, graduations, and other religious functions. Well, that's a new one for me. I didn't know that.
And they have swords, too. You have to watch.
Oh, look out. They have swords.
Well, unfortunately, there was a period of time where our priests and bishops needed protection.
It's absolutely true.
Mostly from the English. This is a group I've been proud to be a part of, the Irish Northern Aid, which has been committed for many decades now to the Irish human and civil rights struggle in the 6 counties of Ireland. They continue that until the job is done here. Looking forward to one island, one Ireland, and advocating for that goal.
If you want peace, work for justice.
Most definitely.
They're led by John Conway as their chairperson, and UIS delegate Kathy Whitford and John Kish. And they congratulate all the parade honorees and wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. Here comes the Lenahan Academy. This is a terrific group. Lenahan Academy of Irish Dance. Very, very strong group, this. As well as organization-wide, too. They're under the direction of Catherine Lenahan Fox. And this is their 19th year in the parade. I can't believe that. It's got to be that long since I used to do plays with Catherine and her husband, Michael, with the Irish Players. They're celebrating 26 years of teaching Irish dance in Cleveland. Senior dancers here.
They have several sub-units as well. Another strong group, keeping alive the traditions.
And they don't just dance at the competitions, they also do exhibitions all around town and things like that, especially for charitable functions. But they also compete. They go to the Worlds, many of them. Some of the finest dancers in the country. One of them, Brandon Esazawa, I believe is now with Riverdance, or one of the Michael Flatley productions anyway. He's terrific. He was just touring, I believe he was touring in the Far East.
Wow.
You know, local Cleveland kid.
Cleveland has contributed a lot to Riverdance and Lord of the Dance.
They certainly have.
And Michael Flatley knows Cleveland well. He used to come here frequently for the Irish Cleveland Fesh competition.
And here's the Friends of Lenahan Academy, and before them was the children's unit. The friends of the parents, anybody else who supports them. And they've also got a float, believe it or not. We missed the float.
Honoring Bram Stoker.
Bram Stoker, whose name was Abraham. I didn't know Bram was short for Abraham.
It rolls off the tongue a little easier.
I suppose so.
but is most known to most Americans as the author of Dracula.
That's right.
One of the more persevering works of literature. It's been translated into movies and other mediums to communicate, and the Lenahan group is honoring Bram Stoker's contribution to literature.
And we just saw, if you see that little dog there, it's because these are the Cleveland Division of Animal Care and Control, City Dogs Cleveland, and they're walking with adoptable dogs to raise awareness about adoption through the Cleveland Kennel. Good work there, those folks. There you go. Great dogs from our great city. Bob Seville, where are you?
All right, can you tell me about this crazy contraption we're on?
Oh yeah, it's a party bike.
Slow down, slow down.
You can put 15 people on the bike.
Okay.
And we just have a great time going through Tremont, Ohio City, downtown.
And it's all by pedal power.
All by pedal power.
All right, thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Same to you.
All right. Now we'll try to get out.
Well, you can get a workout and work off some of those excess calories from the suds, huh?
And in its sustainable nature, it's very green for St. Patrick's Day that they are under pedal power.
Cleveland Cycle Tours.
Fun group.
Coordinated by Mike and Carol Stanek. Great stuff there. That was hilarious. Can you rent that, you think?
Yeah, no, that's what they're in business, to rent it out.
Really?
They'll give you their phone number and everything.
It'd be great for a bachelor party or a bachelorette party.
It's often put to use for that.
Family reunions, bar mitzvahs.
Parades.
Parades, yes. And is this St. Malachy's coming up here?
Well,
oh, no, wait, this is the Indians.
I see the ketchup, mustard, and onions. Now,
yes.
I don't know I always root for mustard.
I like onion usually, although I do know someone who was ketchup for a couple of years.
Well, that didn't sway my vote, but I'm still rooting for mustard. So, for you Indians fans,
Ketchup.
you know this contribution when it's not just the 7th inning stretch, but they have races throughout the baseball field.
Oh, here comes Slider. Look at that. Slider gets him going.
I have no comment on Slider. I'm sort of embarrassed to have him as our mascot.
Did you go to school with him or something? Did he treat you badly?
I just think this is not.
I love that move.
This is not.
Oh boy.
This is not what we want for our team.
Oh boy.
I just care that they win.
Well, you're a party pooper.
This as long as they win.
Right. And here's the Cleveland Irish Cultural Festival. 36th Annual Irish Culture Festival this year, July 20th to 22nd. They have contributed more than $775,000 to local and national charities since they started back in 1982. The director is John O'Brien. Young John O'Brien, right?
Well, no, John O'Brien, the president of the West Side IA, is the founder and director, and John is, I think, the vice chair or assistant director.
Colloquially here in Cleveland, they're JOB and Young JOB, and they're both very active and given an awful lot of time and effort and work for this city and the Irish community in it, and they should be saluted for that.
Followed by the Science Center and then Great Lakes Brewing Company, founded by the Conway brothers, whose family has a strong tradition and links to St. Coleman's. Two graduates of your alma mater, St. Edward High School.
That's right, they are. Well, what else would they be doing but brewing beer?
Well, they don't just brew beer, they do brew great beer, and that they've done it with excellence.
Great restaurants.
And really led the craft brewing movement nationally, frankly, nationally.
And what are we doing next, I believe? Did we have the Wells Fargo Stagecoach? Oh, it did. It went by there. That escaped us, John.
Too busy talking.
And are these the Cavalier girls?
I believe so. Got their
along with their fan express is behind them.
Help them bring some fun during the games and rooting on our Cavaliers.
Now, believe it or not, and a lot of folks don't understand this, but these guys got to rehearse this stuff, and they got to work on this stuff.
Yeah, no, they work hard and for no pay, and so it's they do this out of their own efforts to bring some leading and cheering leadership to our
little excitement,
events.
You know.
Yeah.
The folks here seem to like them.
I was practicing that earlier this morning, I think.
You were? Oh, that's how you warm up, is that
it? Just to get warm before the parade.
That's right.
Loosen up.
You did a little better than he did, but he'll get there. And here's the Cavs wrapped Fan Express, they call it. And there they go. Look at that. It's a pretty impressive bus, I'll tell you.
Looks good. I don't think they take it to their West Coast games, though.
I don't think so, no, that's not, no. I think Mr. Gilbert has a little more money than that.
Do you think they wrap the plane the same way?
Representative Tom Patton just went by. And now it's the Wycliffe Swing Band Percussion Drum Line. Wycliffe High School Blue Devils Percussion and Majorettes, directed by Ms. Pamela Graves, led by seniors C.J. Bishop and Joe Gilbride, along with Majorette Captain Izzy Goff. It's an athletic, energetic, and entertaining group, and it's their 29th year participating in this parade. Good stuff.
Followed by Jesus in the Streets, which is perhaps a very appropriate way to celebrate a feast day of one of our great saints.
Why
and
not?
We are here on the streets, so Jesus in the Streets on the Feast of St. Patrick.
That was some pretty quick social math there, John. That was awesome.
It is the 1,500, I wrote it down here somewhere, over 1,557 years that we're celebrating the death of St. Patrick today.
Wow, really?
Over 1,500 years ago.
Well, also celebrating St. Patrick today is the Lithuanian American community, the Cleveland chapter, and that's Lithuanian descendants, men and women, children, from the Lithuanian national costume and civilian clothing. They are marching to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lithuania's restoration of independence. That was back in 1918.
Many people don't always think about it, but our 1916 revolution inspired many other people to take their governments and their countries into their own hands.
Very true. Here's the Ohio Rosa Trellis float.
Erin Stefansson is Ohio's representative this year.
That's right.
And she will be representing Ohio and Cleveland very well in Ireland this summer in Laois, I think, the city hosts.
I think so.
And will do us proud, and hopefully she'll bring back as the winner.
She's from a very long, large Irish family, I'll tell you. The Fox family is part, yes, many of them who have done an awful lot of work as well in the community. And now we've got the Reality Check dance team, a youth majorette team based here in Cleveland with young ladies from ages 8 to 17. And they're quite energetic.
They're bright pink.
I hope they're contagious.
They're bright pink on
we could catch some
a
of
sunny
energy.
street.
Knights of Columbus 4th degree on their way down the avenue now. This is the Ohio District 1 Color Guard, led by Brandon Robinson, who is the District Marshal.
The Knights are stepping out today. A good day to strut their stuff.
Well, outfits like that you can't keep at home. I'm telling you, don't want to wear those around the house when you're making toast and pouring the milk in your cereal.
They look great.
And St. Bridget of Kildare School now is going to close out Division 1. Students, parents, cheerleaders, and their mascot as well. Bob Seville, you have a preview for us for Division 2.
Okay, we're here with the West Side American Irish Club, right?
Irish American Club.
Tell me about it briefly.
Oh, it's a great club. We have over 2,500 members at this point, just since January. We have lots of activities, lots of cultural, everything any Irish at all.
And where are you located?
We're located in Olmsted Township.
Oh yes, I'm familiar. 252.
Right off of Bagley.
All right, thank you, man. Happy St. Patrick's Day. You guys look great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
This group usually kicks off Division 2 traditionally, and I'll tell you, it is enormous. I was in the reviewing stand several years ago, and you could just see the West Side IA coming and coming and coming.
They got at least a dozen subunits as well.
Huge.
And I think well over 2,000 families are members of the West Side Irish American Club. Thousands of families make up the club.
Anyway, I think we just saw their color guard. Now we've got their pipes and drums from the West Side Club.
This particular organization started in the early 30s at approximately West 65th in Detroit. What's currently now the Cleveland Public Theater building area was the first home of the West Side Irish American Club.
Now, the pipe band is a recent addition to the club. They had one several years ago with the Shamrock Pipe Band and others, but for a long time, there was no pipe band at the West Side Club, and now they've got it back. They started, I think, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Good stuff from them. Drum Sergeant Sean Lowry and Pipe Major Andrew Fowler are their leaders. All right. So this is Division 2 led by the West Side IA. As I said, it's an enormous group. Their club has so many units. They've got a float, they've got pom-poms, fife and drum, the bagpipes, they got a ladies drill team. It's really great stuff. They're very, very active out there.
And they've been leaders in the Irish American community. We have so many groups that make up the United Irish Societies, over 30 groups, but the West Side IA, as it's known for short, West Side Irish American Club, is one of the strong leaders and one of the larger groups here in the greater
They've
Cleveland
been an
area.
anchor in the Irish community here in Cleveland for almost 100 years now. And they really have. It was the place to go when you came from Ireland looking for a place to live and a job and, you know, just to find camaraderie. And it has morphed into really just a cultural center of the community.
No shortages of Malloys have celebrated at the West Side Irish American Club.
You're absolutely right. My wedding reception was there. My father was president many times. I was on the board. My brother was on the board. We've all been doing things out there. I remember mopping the floors at the old club on Madison Avenue when I was 12, 13 years old after a dance. So, you know, we worked, but that's, you know, it was part of it. It was fun.
It's in your blood.
People and made some great friends that I still have today.
And they keep coming. Here comes the ladies drill team.
Right. Led by Katie McCluskey. These are perennial winners in their category in this parade. They are terrific. Katie is the daughter of former director Mary McCluskey. She directed for several decades. I think it was almost 50 years.
And their uniforms are just great. They're so iconic that you can't but love them.
Mm-hmm.
Or miss them.
I'll tell you, and they work.
They do. It's not. They have a lot of fun too. I might add. But
they start this in January, and they go out there every Sunday, and they're out there for 2.5 hours, and they're marching, and they're putting in the time and the sweat. I'll tell you.
Any of those Sundays in January, February, and March, you go out to the club. It's a beehive of activity.
Absolutely.
All in preparation for today's celebration.
And here's the group that plays for them, the Senior Fife and Drum Corps, under the direction of Dr. Bill Hayes. We will listen to them here, playing Gary Owen.
They have their own levels of practicing they got to do in and out of a group. Many of these are children of folks that have been doing it, and grandchildren of people that have been marching with the club, Fife and Drum Corps.
And here's the West Side Irish Rag Club Pom-Pom Unit, under the direction of Patty and Megan Hanrahan.
Oh, yeah. And the captains are Maggie Lavelle, Aaron Nolan, and Maeve McCluskey.
There you go. So every Sunday during January, and this happens at the East Side Club as well, all these young kids and even older adults, they come out and they practice and they form some camaraderie, and they just take the time to learn about their heritage and get ready for this parade to celebrate St. Patrick. And there's my niece's daughters out there I just saw.
The majorettes are up next.
These little kids, they come out here. They brave the cold, these young ladies. And they are very young ladies, I'll tell you. Little girls. But they're here every year.
They're so cute.
They're under the direction of Christy Cruz and Kelly Dreamer. Majorette leaders are Claire Fox, Julika Cruz. The flag leaders are Laylee Wallenhorst, Maura Huff, and Lily Lavelle. Sorry, that was Julicia Hughes. Cruz. I'm sorry, John.
The club is located now, has in its third or fourth home, which has been there since, I forget when they moved, 70s, mid-70s. Out to Olmsted Township.
I'd say late 80s.
Late
80s, right around 88, 89.
8559 Jennings Road, right off of Bagley in Olmsted Township.
And now here are the Junior Fife and Drum.
My kids were participants in the Junior Fife Corps. Had a lot of fun.
Led by Aiden Schwind and Patrick Taher, under the direction of Angela Myers, drum leader, junior drum leader Mary Heros and Tim Calvey, and they're under the direction of Marie Kilbane and Michael Dreamer. There was a time when the number of drummers were starting to fade, and Marie Kilbane really worked to lift those numbers up and teach more kids how to drum. And boy, they're a strong unit now.
Yes.
Senior unit and for the kids. Really terrific. And here's the members of the West Side Club, along with their queen, marching with them.
I see former Congressman Dennis Kucinich marching with the crew.
He is a member of the club, so he marches with the club.
And the club is not just about St. Patrick's Day, as you know, Tommy. It's dozens of acres out, a beautiful setting with trees and a lake and a beautiful clubhouse that's available for rentals.
It really is a
weddings, parties, showers. It's a great setting to have your
And there's the float for the West Side Club.
Also recognizing aviation and women in aviation.
Lady Mary Bally, who was born in County Monaghan, was the first woman to fly across the Irish Sea. She also served as a section officer during World War II. And they also honor on that float Eileen Collins, whose parents emigrated from County Cork in the 1950s. She was the first female to pilot and command NASA Space Shuttle missions on Discovery, Atlantis, and Columbia. And now here are the Forever Young from the West Side Club. West Side I is led by President John O'Brien, by the way, and they're honoring their Man of the Year this year, who is Bill Luther. Their Woman of the Year is Maureen Che. Co-volunteers of the year, Bill Rice, John Kean, and Tom Lucas. And 2008 Queen is Courtney Kuntz.
And her court, Megan Berry and Allie DeCrane.
Was that Rolling Thunder there?
Well, it isn't Forever Young, I don't think, but it sounds like Rolling Thunder.
Forever Young went by and Lolly the Trolley there. And now up we have the Sea of Blue, a support group for their men and women in blue, our Cleveland's finest.
As we talked, a great and long tradition with the Irish community in the law enforcement area.
Very much so.
We salute their service and sacrifice.
Well, it's funny how, you know, those who may want to complain once in a while about getting a ticket or some silly infraction, you know, when you need these folks, and they're thankful that they're there.
Yes. I'll remember that next time I'm getting a ticket.
Oh, will there be a next time?
Is
this the Pipe Fitters? Pipe Fitters local
120.
120. Their Irishman of the Year, Paul Mullen and Larry Sweeney Jr. With them this year is Richard Cordray, who's running for office, I believe. Am I allowed to say that? I guess I can. He's running for governor.
His lead opponent was just ahead of him with the West Side Irish American Club.
And you do know he's a Jeopardy champion, right?
Yes. We in the Irish community are used to elected officials on all sides and in all offices.
I met him many moons ago when he was running for Congress in Columbus, back when I lived there in 1990. And who's up next here? Is this the Pipe Fitters, all their folks? I think they are. I see my brother who's a fitter.
And family members.
My brother Pat Malloy is out there.
Patrick?
Yep.
And your other brother, that's where we're mentioning candidates, TJ, is also running for Congress. So
he is.
Another proud representative of the Irish community looking to advance and be a public servant for our greater Cleveland area.
In many ways, those are thankless jobs, too.
They're hard. They're hard.
Well, there's Mr. Sweeney there for the Pipe Fitters Man of the Year.
Larry Sweeney Jr. He gets to ride.
Well, when he gets home, believe me, he'll be doing the plumbing in the house. The wife will have him doing it. Paul Mullen as well. There are other Irishmen of the Year for the Pipe Fitters. And more of the crowd there. Big crowd today, John. I think the sunshine brought folks out.
Yes.
You know, I was shocked to see the number of people who are out here without coats. I'm not saying it's warm enough for that. I'm saying they've either...
They don't want to be tied down by their coats.
All right, if that's how you want to put it.
I think that being a Saturday also influences the crowd, too. People have more time.
That's very true, too. Here's some of their members on that big float, that trailer. I guess it's not really a float, is it?
It's a trailer.
I guess you could call it one.
Well, it's a float.
Technically.
A people float.
Here comes the St. Ignatius Marching Band, St. Ignatius High School over in Ohio City, under the direction of Dan Hamlin, John Mullen, and Mrs. Natalie Hamlin. Their flag corps is with them as well. Let's listen to these folks. Good stuff.
AMDG.
Right on cue, they
proudly
stop.
on their sleeves. It's the Jesuit motto. Blue and gold.
Flag Corps there. There's some more of the Ignatius behind them, some of the students. I believe my wife's godson, Brandon Agnew, is marching with them today.
A good group.
It's a great school. I mean, I went to Ed's, but let's face it. I mean, we got two terrific schools here.
Lots of good choices.
Not just athletically, academically, just a really terrific thing here. And here's the Weed Man. No, folks, not what you think. The Weed Man, the guy who started a business taking care of your lawns. He's doing really well. He's a superhero, and he's leading the Weed Man unit. They always have a terrific thing here.
They do. I have to, looking up at the sky, Tommy, it's a nice blue sky today, shining down on the parade.
Beautiful, isn't it?
And I'm watching, not to give a commercial, but the Mally's truck flag is flying overhead. Another proud Irish Cleveland family from Westport, County Mayo area. Roots there. And make some darn good chocolate.
There's an awful lot of County Mayo people in this city. It was a hub. Absolutely. And there's folks from other parts of Ireland as well, but this certainly was a County Mayo hub.
Our Irish Mother of the Year is from County Kerry, where some of my family hails from. Our Grand Marshal's family is from Meath, I think. So the Mayo folks have a strong and proud tradition here, but all 32 counties are represented.
This is Channel 19. Some of their folks there. They're anchors, sports anchors riding in the car, and also pedicabs. Their storm chaser was there. Hey, Bob, I hear you got a really wonderful lady, if you know what I'm saying.
All right, we're here with Wonder Woman. Tell me about your role today, ma'am.
Hi, we're superheroes for kids, and we make costume visits to hospitals to cheer up kids.
That's very cool. Where do we find out more information?
On this card right here. Go to superheroesforkids.com.
Thank you. Show us your outfit with the shield. There you go, guys.
They're a great organization that bring a lot of happiness to kids who are in the hospital and sick.
And I mean, listen, I mean, being in the hospital is no picnic. I think we all know that. And that's really something that, if you're a kid, it's got to be even worse. You know, you got energy, you're active, and, you know, to see that, it's just a wonderful thing.
Helps brighten their day. I have to give a shout out to Thor here with the Irish hat, my nephew, Jimmy Myers.
Oh, really? Oh, geez,
who was one of the founders of this group, actually. And he and his friends give a lot of time to
very good
brighten the day for some of these kids.
They're much larger than I thought. There's more. I mean, there's more of them than I thought there would be.
There are a lot of superhero fans out there. Of course, and appropriate for Cleveland, which is the originator and home of the original Superman. The boys from Glenville, Jerry Schuster and I can't remember the other guy's name now, but two boys from Glenville, Cleveland.
Created Superman many, many years ago, yeah.
Yep.
Here's the Royal Diamond Doll Majorette team. Girls 6 to 17 years old, and their philosophy is to strive for higher education. Lake County captains as well taking part today. Skipper is their mascot.
Well, at least their mascot's
you like Skipper
in green.
better than Slider?
Well, he is in green, so I have a little partiality.
I see, okay.
I prefer green to purple.
That tips the scales for you?
Yes.
Beautiful park out there.
It is a very nice, intimate place to watch a game. You really feel part of the game out there.
And there's the Alpacas, the Gaelic Glen Alpacas.
Some of the names of the alpacas are Dapper Dan McGann, Katie O'Dorable, Marie Madigan, Seamus, Fiona, Darby O'Gill.
Right, Bailey's Irish Cream.
They're in the spirit.
Oh, and look, they've got the
picker upper,
the can and the
scooper picker upper for the llamas as well.
Where was that when I was marching behind the horses?
Here's one of your groups, Tommy.
All the Cleveland Irish players are coming up. Is this them? There
yes.
They are. Oh,
a great and
I did
proud
shows
tradition.
with them for 30 years.
You know, what's unique about Ireland is the Irish literature and theater really played a major role in keeping the Irish culture alive and laying a foundation with the Gaelic revival for an independent Irish republic.
And it was also a large part of what the Irish parishes did as well. They would have play groups and things like that, and lit groups that kind of would help the community bond as well. Bob Seville, who do we have for us?
Okay, guys, we're rolling along with one of the unicyclists. Tell me your name, where you're from, and tell me about the group briefly.
I'm Rosie Murray. I'm from Chardon, Ohio, and this is a really nice St. Helens group.
St. Helens. All right, I'll let you do your thing. We're running out of room. Go for it.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. St. Helens out there by Punderson State Park have been a mainstay in the tradition for quite a few decades now. And Father James Moran had started it back in the mid-'60s, and it's been a mainstay of their parish identity for many years.
And they've been to several big name parades, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the Florida Orange Bowl, the Tangerine Bowl Parade. I think they've even done the Cotton Bowl Parade. And I think they were down in Canton a couple times for the Hall of Fame.
I'm sure they were.
They've been around.
I don't know how they stay up there. It's quite a feat of skill.
I don't think they had to ride the cycles to those parades, but I hope they had a bus. But
hopefully they got a ride there.
It's an impressive thing. I mean, I don't know.
I have a hard time walking, let alone.
Lord. Well, good stuff there from them. And there's their
Newberry, Ohio.
The equipment van.
The equipment van, if you notice, doubles as helps the guys on the tallest.
The ladder on the back, yes.
It helps them get started there.
Here's the Cleveland Metro Parks. Tell you, that's a jewel that oftentimes goes overlooked and appreciated by us, but we kind of take it for granted. But the Metro Parks, folks come in from out of town and they are just blown away.
Blown away. Over 22,000 acres make up this. And today in particular, you want to know their nickname, the Emerald Necklace. Correct. Is appropriate for today.
Followed up by WQAL, also part of the Metro Parks with their Flats Water Taxi and the morning show personalities. And here's my wife's alma mater now, the Holy Name High School Marching Band.
The Green Wave.
Under the direction of Mr. Evan Campus.
Located now in Parma Heights. You started out at Holy Name Parish, a strong Irish community on Broadway. And today is a much more modern and bigger high school out in Parma Heights.
It's very nice. I was out there for a play a couple of years ago. Very nice to see my niece. I think she was doing the musical Annie, and just a great place.
It is.
Gorgeous building, great facility.
A great program going there.
And the drill team, I believe, was in there. And here's the students. These are the elevator unit. I'm sorry. I was going to say they all look like seniors. This is the elevator constructors local 17, led by business rep John Driscoll and President John Patton. They install, service, maintain elevators and escalators all over Northeast Ohio. Another thing,
a lot of ups and downs in that business.
I think you said that last year, didn't you?
I did.
Look at these cars.
A shout out to
Lord
Timmy
Almighty.
Minnick, who's a past business agent for the local 17.
And look at them up there now.
They have a fun group.
They certainly are. Let's hope we meet up with them later, John.
Yes, they look like the ones to follow here so far.
Provide a little pick-me-up.
I think they know how to celebrate the day.
Here's the St. Paschal Balon Clown and Helping Hands Ministry. St. Paschal's Rascals, they used to say. Do they still say that?
Always.
Always, of course.
Founder Deacon Joe Bourgeois and Bob Yukovic founded this ministry. Over 75 volunteers who serve people with hope and love that are in need of food and clothes and other necessities.
Well, I mean, and you know, that again, that ties in with the whole theme of St. Patrick and St. Patrick's Day and helping others. And Bishop Perez had a very, very nice message this morning over at St. Coleman about St. Patrick deciding that he needed to give his life and his time to help others. Yes. That it wasn't about him. It was about others, and that is what our faith drives us to do and should drive us to do. And I think that's a great thing that ties in here with St. Patrick's Day.
And they've tried to reach people in a little bit different way than the ordinary method, so it's all good. The other music you're hearing right now, though, is stepping it up with Polka Time Ohio and more.
Bob Seville, let's talk to somebody.
Okay, we're with one of the Burning River Roller Girls, right?
Yes.
Tell me about your club real briefly.
So we do roller derby.
Like where?
We're based out of Euclid and North Homestead.
Okay. And tell me about your outfit.
Green.
I like your shirt. Happy St. Patrick's. Let's see what you got.
There we go. Bob, I know that you get a lot of steps in on this job every year. Maybe you should get some skates. Just a suggestion, just trying to help, you know. I can't skate to save my life. Here's Our Lady of Angels School over there in Rock River Drive in West Park. Led by Patrick Carey and Kristen Spear.
Their group representing a parish with another strong and large membership from the Irish community.
Very much so. My father came to that parish, to his aunt and uncle who lived on West Park, the street, in the neighborhood West Park.
Right off of Rocky River Drive.
I mean, I was baptized there. I was married there. My parents were married there.
As my parents were married there. And other family members. It's a great, great community.
And here we go. Is this, let's see, I don't know who this is.
American Cruisers?
No.
No?
The Cruisers went by. Those were old-time cars, I think. This is, if we can see the banner.
17. Is it, oh, Iron Workers. It must be Local 17.
Oh, there we go. Very good.
Seeing the iron, it's a unique float. Another members of the proud building trades tradition that literally, as we said, built Cleveland and America.
And I think we talked about this last year, how, you know, these are people who do things that we completely take for granted in our city life. You know, putting up buildings, the people who install these things.
And done in a safe and economical way.
Right.
That we can be sure of, take for granted these structures that support us.
And not to be outdone, Tim's Wild Creations with his monster van pulling a giant robotic dog. There's also a monster car and a go-kart. He's got a monster truck pulling a two-headed robotic dragon. Something we also take for granted, I guess. I don't know. Pretty cool to see, though.
We should take them for granted.
They
they grace us with their presence for many a year now. I know he has fun with it. He designs and builds these
terrific,
remarkable, really they're art.
They are.
I mean, and a lot of time and energy go into them. You don't see that every day, as they say.
Rolling sculpture, really, if you think about it.
It is. And playing Irish music to boot. God love them. Thanks for being here, Tim.
And now we have the Cleveland Public Library and their book cart drill team, I believe they call it.
Takes in all colors they got for today. I'm ready to read. It's a nice participation by Cleveland Public Library.
And here comes Bike Cleveland, dedicated to advancing cycling and strengthening neighborhoods throughout Northeast Ohio. They're committed to safe cycling, education, and healthy transportation and recreation, trying to make Cleveland a more exciting and fun place to work, study, play, and live, and raise a family. They have really risen their profile over the past 5, 6, 8, 10 years, encouraging the bike lanes and things of that nature. And also just, you know, making a little bit of a greener environment around in Northeast Ohio. They do a ride every last Friday of the month, I think it is, from Public Square here. They'll ride out to a different neighborhood, partake of some of the businesses out there. And Bob Seville, can you talk to somebody with the bike club?
Are you with Bike Cleveland?
Yes, I'm
You've
with
got
Bike
a unique
Cleveland.
outfit. It's a big bike with big tires. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a fat boy bike. It's a mongoose bike. It's called Sodomite.
All right.
And basically what we do is we just have fun, ride bike.
It looks like it. Let's see what you got as you leave. It's a great bike.
Thank you.
Thank
My
you.
birthday today.
All right, there he goes, guys.
I wonder where their biker bar is.
That's pretty good.
Might be full today.
Wherever their legs get tired, the closest one. Here is Cleveland Polonia. This is always nice to see. Polish parishes, St. Barbara, Casimir, Immaculate Heart, and St. Stanislaus. The Polish National Alliance, the Polish Roman Catholic Union, John Paul Cultural Center, they all march together to honor St. Patrick. And it's nice to see other ethnicities as part of this, because it's just as much their celebration as it is ours, really, if you think about it.
Patrick is a saint for all.
For all of us, absolutely.
It's Ireland's patron saint, but he's for all.
And it also represents the, just the fact that the diverse ethnic makeup of the city and how that is a strength here. Always has been.
And there were quite a few Irish Americans that helped some of the Polish churches that were being threatened to close and stood with them and as they with us. So there's some solidarity there.
The Celtic Nations ladies drill team.
Precision drill team.
There's a few gentlemen in to play drums. Go. Up next, another one of my alma maters. Is that the correct Latin plural?
Yes, that'll do.
St. Brendan Church and School. Their children and families are walking in front of Lally the trolley filled with parishioners.
Fully known, as you know, as St. Brendan the Navigator.
Correct.
The first European, we believe, to have come to North America long before that guy from,
wasn't he Italian?
I think so.
Sailing for Spain?
Yes, or Portugal, no, Spain. Isabel, Queen.
Bob Seville, let's talk to somebody.
All right, guys. We're here with some more leprechauns of St. Patrick's Day. I like your beard there. You wear that to school? No. Are you guys having fun?
Yeah!
Why don't we, at the count of 3, say Happy St. Patrick's Day, Cleveland. Are you ready? Look at the camera. 1, 2, 3. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Cleveland! Woo!
Now that's fun. I mean, that really is. It's great to see those kids having such a good time. And they're going to remember that their entire lives, and they're going to be bringing their kids down here too. It's just great to see that kind of a tradition passed on. It really is terrific. So I believe coming up now we have just a brief lull here, but I believe we've got the Ukrainian Dance Ensemble, the Kashtin Ukrainian Dance Ensemble. Is that true?
That's who's coming next. We're supposed to be.
I believe that's them. Under the direction of Markian Komachek, the Kashtin School of Ukrainian Dance. Vibrant costumes, traditional music, lively dance movement, wowing audiences for generations. And their parent organization is the Ukrainian Cultural Arts Association of Greater Cleveland.
Another proud ethnic community here in Cleveland. Ukrainians have.
It's always struck me, as different as we all are in where we come from as far as ethnicities and things, whenever I met someone whose parents had come from some other place, it was more of a commonality. I mean, my parents are immigrants and so were yours. I mean, it was always something that would unite me with that person. And, it was kind of a little bit of camaraderie that our parents were from another country. Instead of separating us, that brought us together.
Many more things in common than different. But
right.
We're all children of immigrants, and it's something to keep in mind and be thankful for the blessings this country has given by opening its doors to immigrants from all corners of the world.
And how appropriate that next up is the Asian Festival, Cleveland Asian Festival, who celebrate Asian culture in Northeast Ohio for Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in May. It's a free festival. It's a really good time. I've been down there. The food is terrific. The people are terrific. There's some really cool cultural things. The Dragon Dance Team, Japanese drumming, which is awesome. The Yin Tang Dance and Shaolin Kung Fu School of Arts. This year it's May 19th and 20th over at East 27th and Payne Avenue.
Part of our Asia Town, Cleveland's Asia Town.
We do have an Asia Town, folks. A lot of folks don't realize that either.
It's some good food, too.
That's a really fun time. Great festival.
It is. Very colorful, as you can see. It's great how the dragon moves along, and they have practiced.
And there's meaning behind all these things, too. I mean, I'm not going to go into that now, probably because I don't know. But I know that there is meaning.
Well, I won't be challenging you on it, so feel free to make it up if you need to.
I won't show you, John.
Feel
because
free,
I can't.
Feel free.
I believe the Corrigan family is on its way.
Certainly one of the better known Irish names, family names in Cleveland's Irish community. But it's nice that this particular Corrigan family is coming together because so much of the day and celebration and tradition is families coming together.
Absolutely. Could you imagine if every family, we'd be here all day.
The Irish Champions is their float.
And now here's the OSU Alumni Club. I think, did we see the Pioneer Total Absence Society on that float? I'm not sure. I thought I saw something with that. But here's the Ohio State Alumni Club of Greater Cleveland.
Who are
There's
doing
Brutus.
well in the NCAA Wrestling Championships being held up the street here at Quicken Loans Arena. Battling Penn State for recognition.
Did they win? I know they were.
They're working at it. I don't think it's over yet,
Yeah.
so they're advancing the cause as we speak, actually.
There's more Ohio State alumni. Buckeye Nation, as it's so often called.
And they are a nation. I think it's.
And now the Boy Scouts of America. Service to Northeast Ohio youth from Sandusky to Conneaut, theme scouting, literature. Coordinated by Gary Musselman, who's their chairman.
A great tradition. The Boy Scouts of America.
Mm-hmm.
And can you do a drum roll, Tom? That's the end of Division II, and big Division III is coming to wrap
Right our way.
up the last third of the parade.
Gorgeous day here in Cleveland. Thanks for joining us here on the Tube. So many, I don't know how many, over 100,000 at least have joined us here downtown Cleveland on the Avenue. John, great day with sunshine here.
Good stuff, and Bob's going to talk directly with some more participants.
Right
What's
there,
the Cub Scout motto?
Boy Scout.
Be prepared. I'm trying to do that for you guys. Back to you guys.
Tommy, there's over 10,000 people that march in the parade.
And but you know what? I was going to say, it seemed like there was 10,000 Boy Scouts. That was a big, long unit. I was surprised at all that. That was great. Great stuff.
A couple years ago, when it was the 100th anniversary of the Scouts, we had almost that many just Scouts marching.
Boy. Oh, I remember that. That's right.
Yeah.
Now the O'Hara School of Irish Dance. O'Hara School is led by teacher Eileen O'Kennedy Dunlap and world champion Michael Holland. Renowned Irish dance school, produced numerous world champions. They really have. They'll have their dancers coming up here as well. They're going to the World Championships in April in Ireland. They've got studios in Medina, Akron, and Canton, and they will accept people year-round. Here they come.
Dancing to their music.
It's a very athletic discipline. It really is. You have no idea how hard those people work, those kids, what they have to learn. And here, I think these are their boosters. Those are the parents and all those others who are trying to help their mission to function as just support for the dance students and promote their dance and culture. Also to get them, raise money to get them to all these competitions. It's one thing to compete and to win and be great at it, but it's another thing to get to the big ones that are usually overseas. Scotland or England or Ireland, and that's what these folks do, these boosters for all these dance schools. They organize the fundraisers and they help raise the money that helps those kids show themselves off and make us all proud overseas.
But most of the kids, the large majority of them, don't get that honor of traveling overseas, but there's still a lot of time. Parents, and I've been there, going to these competitions is a commitment, but they all have fun, and it's a great camaraderie and community of dancers that travel to different feshes, FEIS, which is the name given to these dance competitions. And Cleveland holds its big fesh every Memorial Day weekend here in Cleveland. And for the last couple of years has been downtown at our new convention center, I believe.
Now we've also had the Girl Scouts just went by. You saw the Northeast Ohio troop, girls 7 to 14 years old. And then St. Pat's West Park, John. I think you might know some of the folks at that parish.
Most definitely, just down the street from me. Cleveland's oldest St. Patrick's. Even though St. Patrick's Bridge Avenue is the mother church of Cleveland's Irish community, St. Patrick's was built in West Park, was built in 1848. Actually,
it outdates them all, does it not?
Yes. St. Mary's of the Flats is no longer with us, but
correct.
St. Pat's West Park was was next. So it's certainly one of the oldest parishes in the diocese.
And we just had the Irish firefighters from Menor as well, led by Kevin Patton and Dave Arco riding on that truck there. And I believe, if I can see that right, I think it's the heat and frost insulators. I could use some of that around my toes right about now, John.
Yes, a little help.
Local number 3, union members and their families. They're in this parade every year.
Another of our building trades.
And I believe now, is this them as well? Is this their Irish Man of the Year? I believe it is. I don't know who that is, though.
They also historically have been known as the asbestos workers.
Insulators Local 3 as well. And now, St. Martin de Porres High School Band, their high school drum line, the Lionettes, the step team, the high steppers, and their cheerleaders.
St. Martin de Porres High School is part of the National Cristo Rey Network, a unique approach to high school where the kids work 1 day a week in a local business or manufacturing concern to help pay for their own education. A great and unique model started here locally by the efforts of the Sisters of Humility of Mary and the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits here, who helped get that high school off the ground. They do great work.
And up next, is it the Pioneers? I'm going to say it is. The Cleveland Pioneers Total Abstinence Society. Founded in Dublin, Ireland in 1898. These are folks who, you know, plainly just, they don't drink. They give up alcoholic beverage in support of those who aren't able to really consume alcoholic beverages responsibly, I guess you could say.
Maureen Baxter is their Pioneer of the Year. You often hear people say they've taken the pledge.
That's
These
what it
folks have taken the pledge and forsworn any use of drugs or alcohol and continue to advocate that as a sane and appropriate way of living, which is all good advice.
Presidents Kevin McGinty, Spiritual Director Father Jim O'Donnell, John Lackey, Nell Buckley are this year's honorees. Oh, I'm sorry, this year's honoree is 2018 Pioneer of the Year, Maureen Baxter. I think you already mentioned that. I know all those folks, good folks.
Most definitely.
Leaders in this community. It's funny how you find a lot of cross memberships and people who work for more than one organization. It's really, really something to see.
A lot of groups to be able to work with and encourage all of you to participate and find one if you anything.
There's plenty of work to be done.
Whether it be from Irish Wolfhounds or to the Pioneers,
or the Lake Metro Parks Draft Horse Hitch, which comprised of a team of horses on their wagon. They went by, and I think now we got the Plumbers Local 55 again. Is that who we have?
Yep, building trades once again proudly represented.
Here we come, and they've got their version of Lally the Trolley as well. And
as I said, I think some days it's warmer marching than riding, but
I would say absolutely. And I think they're also part of the Plumbers.
And we've got the American Red Cross.
Oh, is that who that is? All right, the American Red Cross.
We missed the Dynamic Divas.
I didn't see them, unless they're also part of the Plumbers.
They could be.
I don't think so, Jim.
It could be. I'm voting that they are.
Really? I'm interested in Ghostbusters Cleveland. I hope they don't start firing those, whatever those things are, those ectoplasm.
We'll get ready to duck here. The Dugan family is coming up next. The Dugan-Toomey families.
Oh, boy.
Honor Mary Robinson as their 20th century Irish pioneer. Mary was the first woman president of Ireland and went on to work in the United Nations as the head of the human rights worldwide. And it brought that. And they're bringing their good music too, honoring Mary Robinson. You see the globe there and her work with United Nations on behalf of human rights around the globe, around the world.
You know, she is also an awardee of the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yes,
for
she
her
is.
work as an advocate for equality and justice. And I think the Ghostbusters are coming up. Bob, you got them in the ectoplasm blasters, or whatever they are?
We're here with the Ghostbusters gang. Tell me how you've been received today.
We've had an excellent turnout for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Everybody's heaping adoration on us, and we couldn't love it anymore.
Thanks for being here. Spin around. Let's see your gear. Look at all this pack on the back. All right, there we go.
All right, Bob. They didn't tell you what those things are, did they? Some technical term, I'd never understand it anyway. I was more into the arts. Rebel Legion and the 501st Legion, I believe, are coming up next. Is this them? I think it is. Made up of a Rebel Legion, 501st Legion of Star Wars costumers, the official fan and costuming groups that internationally raise money for charities and do events on behalf of Lucasfilm. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
So, as we were saying before, you know, there's always something you can get involved with, you know, to do things to help others out. And that really is the spirit of St. Patrick as well.
It is.
And if you're ever feeling low and feeling down about yourself, you go find somebody to help, and you'll start feeling pretty good.
A lot better. Another helping group is the Greater Cleveland Right to Life that just went by. Those who are supporting the right to life and advocating that cause and education in that effort.
And they're here every year.
They have a big billboard float.
Thank you for choosing life.
Some cute kids pictured there.
Very cute. Look at that. And HOW Autism is a group here today showing that autism does not discriminate, and it appears in every race, gender, age, sexual orientation, whatever. And they work to help
an area of growing concern, and these folks are helping lead the effort to educate all of us on the issue and its ramifications and awareness.
And there they go.
They have a huge group.
They certainly do.
Most impressive.
And I think that may wrap us up here. A few more.
We should have the Youth
Cleveland.
Challenge. Collaboration of 19 nonprofits who serve people with disabilities in Greater Cleveland. Youth Challenge, the lead member of this group, provides sports and recreation for children and young adults with physical disabilities by utilizing teen volunteers. We're a great group. They're flying the tricolor on their bus. It's good to see so many of these great groups that take advantage of the platform of this celebration to advance awareness of some important issues in our community. Up next is the Millwright and Pile Drivers
Absolutely.
Local.
Those guys do some hard work.
1090, another building trades organization.
When they're moving big things, these are the guys they call. To wrap it up, to lift it, to move it. Coordinated by Dan Silverson.
Building Cleveland. They have a nice float here with the skyline of Cleveland in the background. You can see it, as well as the tricolor colors, Millwright and Pile Driver.
There you go.
And a little shout out to Ackle Island they have there with Cleveland in the background.
There's an awful lot of folks from Ackle Island, or from folks descended from Ackle Island here in Cleveland.
And you can speak personally to that, Tommy.
I can.
Both your folks are from that lovely island, the largest island in Ireland.
Well, my father used to say that Ireland was the island off the coast of Ackle. That was one of his favorite.
A true Ackle man would say that.
Jabs.
The true Ackle man.
St. Vincent, St. Mary Fighting Irish Marching Band and Irish Dancers. Let's listen to them.
Doing the Notre Dame fight song. Onward to victory. Whether the odds be great or small, Old Notre Dame will win over all.
They've traveled and have performed in Cincinnati, Chicago, New York City, and even at Disney World in Orlando. And here's the Crocker Park Train. They pull that guy. Well, does that thing run year-round? I usually see it around the holidays, but they...
well, it's running today.
Evidently it is, yes.
Out there in Westlake.
Can you get an all-day pass for that?
I think so.
Oh.
Some riders.
Depends on how much you spend.
Better get some gift cards.
And now I believe we've got St. Pat's St. Jarlath Gaelic Football Club, consisting of players and alumni from the men's club. Also marching with them today are the children and parents of their Gaelic football and hurling programs. I played some little Irish football here and there. It wasn't terrific, but I certainly had fun.
I've enjoyed watching it. It's a fun and fast game.
It certainly is. It's a tough game.
It's sort of a combination of American football and football and soccer.
Very much, if you've seen Australian rules football, very, very much like that, or much akin to rugby as well, as far as the physicality anyway.
You're allowed to touch the ball, but it's primarily with the feet, but there's a mixture of the both, which sort of, in my way of thinking, speeds up the game and really makes it something to watch.
Oh, it's exciting. It really is something to watch. And you'll recognize, I mean, once you start to watch it, you'll be hooked. You really will.
They have a goal too, different points for above the goal and different points for below the goal.
Now here we have the Irish Wolfhounds coming up. Beautiful animals, I'll tell you. They really are, yes, and so gentle.
Gentle giants.
An ancient breed that dates back to 400 AD. They were bred to eradicate wolves from Ireland.
Old.
Yes, I think that is old.
These guys are a little younger, but their ancestors have been around a long time.
Tallest breed of dog in the world. Just beautiful.
And they enjoy getting a good walk in today with their masters. You don't have to be Irish to own an Irish Wolfhound, no.
That's not a requirement?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
Just checking. University Circle, Inc. Some great institutions over at University Circle. Their mission is to build a community experience that connects all people with Cleveland's Center of Culture, Healing, and Learning. Hospitals, museums, universities. I do love it over there. It's terrific over there.
Yep.
We love
under
museums.
the direction of Executive Director Chris Ronayne, a proud Irish Clevelander. And one of his staff is Sheila Corrigan from Parma.
I seem to bump into Chris every St. Patrick's Day at some establishment, shall we say.
He's out celebrating with the people.
Well, you know, he's a regular guy. He's always happy to meet you. He recognizes me first, which the number of people he must meet in his line of work, I think that's kind of nice.
It's a good memory.
Yeah.
Good memory.
And I think this is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Yeah, it is. I don't see Steven Tyler in there, do you? Rock Hall staff building a little music to our parade this year. They're honored to host the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and that, folks, is next month right here in your hometown of Cleveland.
I have to say, even for people who aren't rock and roll fans, when they've had the ability to travel outside the country, people know that Cleveland is the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's brought good international attention to our city. And they
there we go.
Horns that work too.
Okay. Less horn, more cowbell.
Yes. Or more rock and roll would be better than the horn.
Oh boy. Magnificat High School, recycle it. Today they are students from Magnificat who are involved in recycling. Oh boy.
The Blue Streaks,
a big fire truck.
Streaks from Magnificat, my daughter's alma mater.
Very good. My sister went there as well.
The Humility of Mary's, sponsor and founders of Magnificat High School, located in Rocky River, Ohio.
Notre Dame College on the way with their men's rugby team. And Notre Dame College just went co-ed, I'd say, what, 10 years ago, 10 years ago?
I think so.
Yeah,
maybe
fairly
a little
recently.
longer, but yeah, they've done a great job of providing higher education here to our Cleveland community and being an active participant.
This is your Notre Dame College Falcon Marching Band.
They sound good.
They do sound good. Michael Kruger is their director, and Michael Martinek is the assistant director.
Well, as part of that co-edship came a football team, and with a football team, what does one need but a marching band.
This is true. Very much so.
They've continued to grow.
And speaking of football, a different kind of football, this is their rugby team, and they were national champions last year.
I don't know if I knew that.
D1 AA. I did not know that.
Good for them.
Now, I went to Bowling Green. Bowling Green had a very long
season last year.
Terrific stuff here from Notre Dame rugby. And Bob Seville, can you corral one of those rugby players in the scrum there?
Cleveland Rovers have been playing in Cleveland out of West Park and Cleveland proper for 40 years now.
Okay.
Traveling internationally and nationally, representing the city of Cleveland.
If people want more information, where do they go?
They can go to www.clevelandrovers.com,
right.
or they can see us on Facebook.
Well done. Thank you, guys. Good luck. You look great.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
It's a fun but rough sport. One of my favorite bumper stickers is donate blood, play rugby.
That's a good one. I never heard that one before. I'll tell you, it's a tough game. It really is.
It is. But they tear up Empit Park on a regular basis, and it's great to walk over on a Saturday or Sunday and catch some matches going on.
It's interesting stuff. It's good sport to watch. International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, District Council number 6. I believe they're going by now, and they have a float too. Look at that.
They did some good painting there. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Cleveland.
There you go. Nice flags on the back too. Very good.
Terry Conroy is a retired business agent.
Cleveland Vegan Society.
More green.
No hot dog cart being pushed there.
Go green, go vegan.
There you go.
No vegan corned beef today either.
Well, they have a Veg Fest in May. I think this year it's the first week of May, May 5th, I believe. Cleveland Vegan Society. Hey, I'll check anything out.
Most definitely.
You'll probably meet some cool people. And I
Some good
believe
food.
students from Cleveland State University are on their way.
The Vikings are dancing down the avenue.
They certainly are. And are they dancing to Casey and the Sunshine Band? Is that?
It isn't the Chieftains, I know that.
Well,
they're having fun, which is what's counting today.
now, is this the Love Your Melon group? Love Your Melon group is it's a part of Cleveland State. They raise awareness for pediatric cancer.
Oh, great.
And you can take part in that just to bring attention to pediatric cancer in a fun and productive way. That's pretty cool.
It's good stuff. Good
Lake
work.
Erie Crushers there.
And
Cleveland
Crushers are on minor league baseball. One of our many sports traditions that the Irish have been proud to be a part of here in Greater Cleveland that make up the fabric of our community.
We had Domino's Pizza in there. Maybe they're delivering to the Crazy Cops of Al Koran Shine.
They're welcome to deliver here.
Keystone Cops Unit providing levity and mischief with its cops, prisoners, and the Paddy Wagon, which, by the way, folks, the Paddy Wagon isn't named that because the Irish were driving it.
We were passengers, I
Just
believe.
something to remember that, you know.
It's not the most positive term.
Well,
if we were to take offense at things, that would be one of them, but we'll let that go.
Well, it's too, you know, who's got time?
Yes, life's too short.
Now, Jack Cleveland Casino, and I'm going to bet we're almost done.
And we're on the front doorsteps of Jack Casino here watching.
We are. They don't have far
I'm sure
to go.
there'll be one or two Irish Americans that
They're a casino-centric float here.
I don't see the Queen of Hearts, though.
I don't. I would wager that she might be over in the casino. Marching out with our starting gate. They're the home of 500,000. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack Thistledown Racino. They got the starting gate here from the horse race, from the horse track. They're the home of the 500,000 Ohio Derby.
And the horse racing is a proud Irish tradition. Beautiful animals and some fun to watch, and another part of the great entertainment here that makes up our community.
And obviously the horse breeding and horse raising too.
Yes.
As well.
The National Stud in Ireland is called. The Irish horse breeding is one of the best in the world.
It's a big, big deal. Well, folks, I think that is going to bring us to the end. That concludes the 2018 St. Patrick's Day Parade.
The 176th
Very
annual.
much so. We want to wish everyone a happy and safe St. Patrick's Day.
We'll see you on St. Patrick's Day 2019, hopefully before. All the best.